Shalom, shalom. And the title of this lesson is The Final Countdown. The Fall of Babylon is at hand. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power that always makes this possible. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect scattered four corners of the earth. In the same Spirit, teaching His word and believing in His word, Lord willing, as a whole, that you all continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters of His faith and His truth. Lord willing, that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, it's an edifying lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Again, the title of this lesson is The Final Countdown. The Fall of Babylon is at hand. So you want to be prepared. So we are not living in normal times. According to prophecies, we are in that final countdown before the fall of Babylon the Great. Other prophecies have to come to pass, but right now it's clearly seen that Babylon, the great mystery Babylon, is America, right? The scriptures show us that Babylon will rise in power, dominate the nations, deceive the world, and then be suddenly destroyed when the appointed time comes. That time is now approaching rapidly, right? Look at the moves that America is trying to make. Now, those elites or even these government officials know that America is on its last leg. So they have to pull all the tricks out of the book, because now nations are starting to feel like, you know what? I don't need these fools, man. Okay? So it's either you're joining, the BRIC, or you're joining that one world America, right? Or you're going to be a third world country. What are you going to be? But America was built and created to dominate nations, to go back into what the prophecy of Daniel, Ezra, right? Jeremiah, Isaiah, John the Revelator spoke about. So this is Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. It says in the KJV, "For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." This is the mindset that we all should be in, that this is going to come at its appointed time. And even though we believe it's going to happen at appointed time, but are you getting ready? Not a freaking bug out bag, not how many bullets you got for a dumb ass gun. I'm talking about, are you spiritually and mentally ready? Because who's really going to overcome this? Your flesh, not the gun, not a bomb, not a bug out bag. You, man, woman, children, right? You are the one that's going to have to go through this. So you have to get your spirit and your mind intact. Babylon always think that it would never fall. Babylon's greatest weakness is pride. And throughout history, when we look at Babylon, they believed that they were untouchable. Even if we was to look at the ancient Babylon, and so-called Rome in ancient time was considered a second Babylon. Even people of today's age, I forgot the guy name. He made a book called The Second Babylon. Okay. Now, when you go, on Google and look it up, it was this author. I'm not seeing the actual book on here, but it's an author that made a book called Two Babylons. But when you actually go in the book, he was referencing ancient Babylon and Rome. And the reason why Rome was considered is because of the pride. And it was because of their paganism. So spiritually, they were looked upon as second Babylon. Okay, even though we know that they were calling themselves Rome, but they were actually picking up that same thought process. Okay, just like Babylon. But even when you actually go to looking this up, you'll even see, like with an AI overview, that it will connect it, that often links to Rome or a rebuilt historical Babylon, which really is pointing to this Babylon here. Even though that this is spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom, spiritual Assyria, spiritual Nineveh, this is the same as being Rome over again, Rome 2.0. And it's not more in a spiritual sense. This is more in a physical sense, because Revelations 13, Rome was wounded. It fell down, but it's not Rome the place or Rome the thought. It's really the people that were actually running Rome, that were pushing the thought or the image or the mindset of Rome, which was the Idumeans, the Edomites. So that same Roman thought process is back on the earth, but just worser as being America. Okay, so when you read this all the way at the top, it says the second Babylon, most commonly referred to the Neo-Babylonian Empire from 626 to 539 BC. The last great Mesopotamian power, famous under Nebuchadnezzar II, or in biblical prophecy, a future corrupt religious economic system, often linked to Rome or a rebuilt historical Babylon, as described in the book of Revelations chapter 1, 3, 8, 10, 13, 19, 20, 22. Wait. This is going out of pocket. But really, when you go to like Revelations, the 13th chapter, the 12th chapter, it speaks about Rome. But if you can line up precepts, you would see a further understanding of Revelations 12. But 13, 17, and 18 what clearly speaks on Babylon, let alone when you add other precepts from the prophets, from the Apocrypha. You'll actually point to see that this is a future Babylon. And even Jeremiah and Isaiah, even though Jeremiah was in the time of Babylon sieging Israel, and even Ezekiel, you have moments where they were speaking about a future Babylon. Okay? But of course you have to understand the coding in the scriptures. Everybody's not going to get it. But when we understand how they wrote down the prophecies, when you go to ancient Babylon or Rome, ancient Rome, it wasn't destroyed the same way as this new age Babylon is going to be destroyed. But it took the same characteristic of being prideful like ancient Babylon. What did Nebuchadnezzar do? He boasted on himself building the empire of Babylon. But he was supposed to glorify the Father. So he made him stoop down low like an animal and crawl for a appointed time. And then he glorified the Father and he got his kingdom back like it was nothing. This is the same with America, prideful. And let's just go to this in Isaiah, the 47th chapter. We're going to read 7 and 8. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Now, Isaiah is speaking beautifully in a prophetic form, because this is speaking of the future, and this is an attribute that this empire is going to have. Now, if you understood the laws, how they push their democracy, republic mindset, their system, right? Philosophies all over the earth, and how America feels that it would never fall, it would never have power. These government officials over time had a pride mindset in how they spoke and how America moves, like they run shit. It fits the narrative of when it's speaking of Mystery Babylon or Babylon the Great. It is speaking about America. So this spirit perfectly matches modern day Babylon, which boasts military power, economic dominance, and global influence. But prophecy shows us that mindset is exactly why destruction comes swiftly. So now let's slide over to the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, and let's read verse 7. And it reads, it says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, shall see no sorrow. Now I'm at work, and this what even triggers even more to do this lesson, where people started speaking about tariffs, how America changed, things is not the same. The one brother they would start speaking about the mark of the beast, and certain things came out, Aaron Russo, and they like, wait, hold on. Man, that sounds crazy. That sounds super crazy. And then the brother was like, man, what would we do if, things do go digital? How we gonna buy weed? And so he said, man, I might be one of those ones that's gonna be cranky as hell waking up and I ain't got no blunt to smoke because I can't buy it with cash. And if the system changed, like a lot of people are not even ready. So when we look at these scriptures, you have to look at it in a spiritual sense, because this is going to happen. This is already happening where America lived deliciously. Everybody trying to say that, no, America don't fit. A brother, I'm saying he is a Jake, just like the brother Yarmayan always was saying, but he claims he's African. This man said, when you see America, because he's from Africa, when he was seeing it and his family was seeing America on TV, he said America seemed like heaven. He said a lot of people in Africa that he knows look at America as heaven because what's promoted on TV. America looks like heaven. But he said when he came over here, America is actually harder over here than it is where he's from. He said, we don't have to do this hard work to provide for our family. Work is actually easy in Africa, but in here it's hard. I thought America was heaven. He said heathen. He said heathen because he pronouncing it the wrong way, but it's heaven. He really thought America was heaven. America is the one that pushed that it is tender and delicate. This is where you can have an American dream. Where can somebody, say in the comment section, when did Russia push a Russian's dream? Just like America. Don't come up with something new. The same way that America promotes American dream, you can have the good life, you could be rich, you could have the family, the picket fence. What country is really promoting that? That would be America. There's many nations that will point a finger at America for so many things. But the Lord set this up. So Babylon is a bully and a burden to the nations. Don't we see what America just did to Venezuela? But better yet, look what they did in the slave trade. Took people on cargo ships and brought them to a land that they don't even know, and then beat the shit out of them from their culture. The same thing they did with the Northern Kingdom, who really found this country first. But they made all these little deceptive tactics just to kill them, to get coons, and to separate them, divide them. When they sleep, try to make up plots to kill them. And then try to maneuver their last little thing, doing a Dawn's Act and making them change their name to an English name to slide in some dang some $5 Indians, which are not Indians, so that they can just sweep right under them and take the land from them. They have a whole history of doing the same shit they doing now. They've been doing it the whole time they've been running America. Going in all different countries, pissing and shitting. Now I got this picture of where, like the Rothschilds or the bankers try to put different central bankings in different countries. In this list is only Iran and Cuba and North Korea. The fourth one was Venezuela. Now, I'm not a mastermind in all those things, but they are making plans. Okay? So again, verse 7, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, so much pain give this whore in the 17th chapter, and the 18th chapter. This is Babylon, still referencing that whore. For she have in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. John the Revelator is expounding on the same thing Isaiah spoke about in Isaiah 47. Start at the first verse. Babylon sits as a queen. And when you go to the old etymology of the word queen, Quean, it means whore. So Babylon grows rich by exploiting other nations through war, debt, trade, and corruption. Let's go back to Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity, which they did with America, but this would follow them wherever they would go and conquer. They would do the same thing over again. So the nations tolerated Babylon for gain, but we see the scripture says that they will eventually turn on them. Everybody from all these nations was using America to bring forth their gain because of trade, right? A lot of nations benefit off that slave trade. A lot of nations benefit from the sugar, from molasses, from tobacco, from tea, whatever was going on in America and getting all nations had a hand in it. Okay? Just like the things that we buy, a lot of us that buy a lot of things we buy online, it comes from other countries. A lot of the clothes you get comes from other countries. This is where you can fully get more of an understanding of tariffs. And it's a lot of things we get from other countries that come into America that you buy. Some of these cars, a lot of them come from others, like Benzes. Benzes wasn't even created in America. Now, just to fact check, where are Benz created? Now, our Benz are created in the numerous factories globally, with the major production in Germany, the US, Charleston, China, Belgium, Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, and other countries, reflecting the brand's worldwide manufacturing footprint for its luxury cars, vans, and trucks. So, okay, it is made here, but its originator is Germany. But most of even when you look at parts, because I know when I got my Honda, they were saying because of the tariffs, parts will cost more because these parts is not coming from America. It's a whole lot to it. You know what I'm saying? But all nations profit off of America. Some way, somehow, nations is profiting off of America. Shoot, it could be sex trafficking. It could be trafficking women, children. It could be drugs. It's multiple things that you have to know that America push on this side that nations definitely can make money, benefit, and build gain. So when you go to Revelations, the 17th chapter, in verse 16, off of the statement we made earlier, the nations tolerate Babylon for gain. But we see in the scriptures that eventually these nations will turn on Babylon. So Revelations chapter 17, verse 16, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Ancient Babylon was taken by the Persian Medes, and their allies the Persian Medes overtook them. Okay? Rome fell really because of the inside, from inside out. Okay? And we're talking about when you read this, they're going to burn the whole 50 states. Not just a part, not just a corner, not just DC, not just New York. The whole 50 states is going to be destroyed. When you finish reading Revelation 18th chapter, that whore or Babylon is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes. You can't destroy a country if it's one city, 2 cities, 5 cities left. They're going to destroy the whole city. And it's going to become a lake of fire. Okay? So what we are witnessing today, global tension, do you not see it? Shifting alliance, economic instability, is the countdown clock moving closer to zero? This is a question we should ask ourselves. But then we want to think, if the time is getting closer to that, what am I doing to make sure that I'm worthy to not take part of their plagues? Revelations, the 18th chapter, verse 4. Are you spiritually and mentally getting that full connection to the Lord so that you can physically walk this thing out and physically endure to the end, so that when Yahushua come, he'll physically take you out of this place before, the full wave of destruction? Okay? The destruction is going to come suddenly. Babylon's fall is not slow. It is sudden, violent, and shocking. Revelations, the 18th chapter, verse 10. Standing afar off, I'll start at verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication to live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. So the kings of the earth is going to stem back to the elites. The elites is the real kings of the earth right now. They're ruling. They're making plays. Okay? They're going to be able to see Babylon fall. Of course, we can see this worldwide through technology, through television. They got all different type of devices. They're the kings of the earth. They're going to see their enterprise fall, man. Okay? Let's go to 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. Spiritually, they already see it, because now the prophets got the breath of life and they're feeding the sheep. They're already afraid because now the knowledge is getting out. So this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And this is what they're going to push, peace and safety. But we're headed to destruction. Okay? So the world will be distracted, which they always already do, just like the Greeks in Rome, making circus, sports, entertainment to entertain you, to distract you, to pull your attention away from what's going on behind the scenes. So distract you, make you comfortable, entertain you, and unprepare you while judgment arrives unexpectedly. Don't we see in the gospel, Yahushua said he's going to come like a thief in the night, even in Paul's letters. The Lord is coming unexpectedly, just like in Noah. That flood was coming, he was teaching, telling them, they didn't receive it. But soon as the water start to come, now they want to turn unto the Lord when that wrath come. That goes with this verse in 2 Chronicles, the 36th chapter, verse 16. They mocked the messengers of the Most High and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of Yahweh arose against his people, till there was no remedy. Okay? Until the wrath of the Lord come, a lot of people are going, what's going on? The words is falling off the page. All prophecies come at its appointed time by the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. No shortcuts in this thing. So Yahweh is the one calling the time. Babylon's fall is not caused by chance or politics. It is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's righteous judgment. Okay? Let's get the book of Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, and let's get verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense. He's going to repay her. This is why brothers always teach, don't be comfortable in Babylon. Okay? Be comfortable where you still have common sense. Be comfortable where you can still serve the Lord to the potential that you already been doing. Don't slow down, lower your standards for this world or for your desires, for your physical, your fleshful appetite, and put the time of Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai, put that on standby. No, hell no. That is a terrible thought or a terrible spirit to be in. Okay? You want to be, you want to have your mind on, the Lord is coming, the Lord is coming. And you want to be making plays spiritually, mentally, so that you can live it out, walk it out physically. Now, this is the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, in verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh Shemashai power, who judgeth her. Okay? Because this fire that come down is all by the Lord. And if it's prophesied, it's all by the Lord. We're in the Lord's story. Just because you wake up, you go to work, guess what? You're in Yahweh Shema Shai's story. No defense system, no economy, no alliance can stop what Yahweh has declared. And it already been written. Right? Let's get Isaiah 46 and 10. It always been the Lord's pleasure, because this is in his story. Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. So Babylon falling is the Lord's pleasure. The fire, the nukes, he declared this from the beginning. So we're just living out what he declared from the beginning. It's set up. Just like Jake, wherever you at, you're set up. You're set up to be where you at. Oh, no. Oh, you saying I'm set up? I'm about to move here. If, hey, Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, if you do move to Africa, hey, that's Lord's will. He got you in Africa, but guess what? It could be Lord's will that a nuke can hit that way or a virus go that way and you could still die. Like, this is all Yahweh Shema Shai will, man. So, a warning to you Israelites, okay? Don't get comfortable. Do not fucking get comfortable. This lesson is especially for the Israelites scattered in Babylon, right? But again, these lessons is for all the elect scattered four corners of the earth. But since this lesson is directed and surrounded about the fall of Babylon and a countdown for Babylon, which is America, this is for you, Jake, that's scattered in these 50 states in the United States. Comfort is dangerous in the final countdown. It's just like basketball or football. The final countdown and you down 3 points. This is the last game of the season, and this counts on the you winning the Super Bowl. Let's just use that as an example. You got the ball is in your court. You got 58 seconds to get at least 70 yards down the field to either get a field goal to make it tie or get a touchdown. In the real mindset, if you can play the game right, throw it to do a sideline pop, like when you throw it to the sideline and he can step right out, and you could do that a few times, smoke the clock, hit a timeout, get there and you sure that you can get a touchdown, you can try to do your best to get the touchdown, because if it's tied, you got to do an overtime. This is the final countdown. So you got to make wise decisions. Okay? Wise decisions. This is Jeremiah 50 and 8. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldees, and be as the goats before the flocks. Now, we're not This is not going into you physically moving out of Babylon, right? Because really, to physically move out of here, we're going to need Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to deliver us. You got to be willing to lose your life. Any man that try to gain his life, right, that's not a servant of the Lord. But the real salvation or the deliverance is when Yahweh Shai come and deliver you. Matthew, let me just get this real quick, because I just want to show for those that are simple. Oh man, yeah, I know it's gonna. Yeah, you brothers better leave America. No, he never said. You got to understand. You gotta a lot of times look at the scripture spiritually, which a lot of us don't have the spirit understanding to know how to look at things in the spirit. So this is Matthew 24 verse 30. It says, then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, because he's coming on a big chariot. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So it doesn't matter wherever you at. Especially when Jacob trouble come, the Lord gonna have you maneuvering in different places. You might not even be in the city that you're in, but the Lord is gonna send out his angels to go get the elect four corners of the earth. The Lord is going to go get you. Okay? So when you see this, just like what we're about to get in Revelations, the 18th chapter. Revelations 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, right? The sins, the abominations that they promote in this bullshit ass place, day in and day out. And that ye receive not of her plagues, the destruction that's going to come her way. This is why you don't want to be comfortable here, because you could take part in those sins. You're supposed to put the armor of the Lord on. The more you take time away from the Lord, this is where, just like the other lesson, this is where doubt come in. This is where you start to get lazy. This is where you're idle, right? You're not diligent for the Lord. The more you consume yourself with things on this side, okay? So coming out first is spiritual. The mindset, the priority spiritually, mentally, your behavior spiritually and mentally, just like modest is a appearance and it is a behavior. Okay? So to come out of her, you got to come out of here spiritually and mentally before it becomes physically when Yahweh Shai returns. Right? Because the righteous are going to be scarcely saved. It's going to seem difficult. How, if I just get up and say, let's just go, how is that difficultly being saved? You know, I'm living in Babylon, just like a lot of you brothers and sisters. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, where should we go? Man, we supposed to be thinking, is we connected to the Lord? Because it doesn't matter where you go. Because what if you're not even right with the Lord and you taken out of it? It would be no point of even going. So first, before you even think about getting a bug out bag, let me go get a gun, let me go get a shotgun. Get your house in order. Get your mind in order. Connect it back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Go get understanding. What is truly going on in these scriptures? So hope is for the elect. Fear is for the wicked. Babylon's fall is terror for the wicked, but deliverance for the elect. Literally. It is terror for the wicked, but it is deliverance for the elect. Because in order for us to have salvation, Babylon has to fall. Esau has to be removed from his throne. Our salvation is connected to Esau's destruction. Esau's destruction is connected to our salvation. So the more we see America going through the shit they're going through, your salvation is here. Do you believe? Do you see it? This is Luke 21, verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up. Lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Now, just the same as what is said in Acts. Now, those that are true believers and the elect, you are looking up. When you go to Acts, the 9th chapter, look what they was looking at when Yahushua got ascended up. This is the same mindset a lot of us going to have because we're looking for the return of Yahushua. Hey, you could be looking up and see a blood moon. You be looking up, you see a chariot, right? It's multiple things that the Lord is going to show us to even know that, that salvation is coming, right? It's multiple signs, right? Acts 1:9, it says, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So he got beamed up into a chariot like Elijah. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 10 and 12. He said, oh, I see the chariots of Israel. It was the chariots of Israel that came and delivered him. The same chariots that went over the mulberry tree in the time of David when he was about to go to war. And the Lord said, hold on, wait until you hear the sound of a marching army over the trees. It was a chariot. So you're going to be looking up, seeing Yahushua on the chariot. That's where, because our salvation is with Yahushua. Okay? So now we got to go to this other Bible app real quick. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. And we're going to go to verse 24 and 25. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, and defile not my sanctuary, which is us. The sanctuary is really the elect. The temple is the elect. The church is really the gathering of Israelites. Really sound-minded Israelites. Okay? So he said, I will not spare them. When you go to 2nd Esdras, what is it? The 9th chapter, verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye believe. Do you have faith? Are you doing the works? Yes, works as in the law, but the works of faith. The works of an evangelist. The works of a believer. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. You receive benefits in 2 ways. You got the benefits of this world, but then you got the benefits the Lord have given us in his truth. You got gifts. You got the tool, but the one gift that I can tell you is in Ephesians, the 4th chapter, verse 7 and 8, going to verse 11 to 13. It's the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers. Going back to 2 Chronicles, the 36th chapter, verse 16. You misuse the prophets. Verse 11. And they that have loathed my law while they have yet liberty, freedom, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. A lot of y'all are despising what you don't understand. It said, understood not. You despise what you don't understand, and it's really because the Lord put you in a state of slumber. That's scary. I don't want that. I don't want that for the true believers, which is going to be the elect men, women, and child. Verse 12 is the point. The same must know it after death by pain. You're going to know that all of this was truth. That you're going to know that this was what it says in Ezra 1 and 12. Woman is the strongest, but the truth bear away to victory. You're going to know that this is the truth after death by pain. So the countdown is not to destruction for everyone, but only for Babylon. You got Israel, Ezekiel the 38th chapter, verse 7 and 19, and other points, but it shows you that Israel, which they say is the state, but Israel, the land, right, is going to be destroyed with nukes too. But only thing, the land of Israel is going to be rebuilt, right? When you go to Isaiah 60. Let me just get that. We're going to get another point, and then we're going to close. So Isaiah 60 in verse 10, it says, In the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their king shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Right? Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. How the gates going to be open if they're going to be destroyed? Because they're going to build the walls. And they're not only building the walls, they're going to build the whole foundation. Servitude is for the nations, starting with Esau, Edom. And if you can't get that, you don't really know what's going on in the Bible. Because when you talk about kingdom, some of y'all don't even know what kingdom means. It means kingship. And it deals with Yahweh's kingdom. It's his beginning of reign on the earth. And with the 12 disciples ruling on the throne, which you see in Matthew the 9th chapter, verse 28, they're going to rule on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, let alone you got the government body underneath, which is the rest of the 144,000. That's going to be the government on the shoulders of Yahweh that you read in Isaiah 11 chapter. So these nations is going to build up build up the walls of Israel. They're going to build our kingdom. Okay? Because they're going to be our subjects. Again, in order to have our salvation is connected to Esau's destruction. Okay? So only for Babylon and those married to her system, this is what the countdown is for their destruction. For Babylon and those married to her system, just like even though those allies is turning on Babylon, a lot of those nations that was connected, they getting the ass whooping too. So the clock is ticking, the signs are lining up. The world feels unstable because it is unstable. Babylon is near its appointed end. This is not the time to relax. This is not the time to trust in the system. This is not the time to blend in. What the heck we want to blend in for? Do you have a rulership mindset? Do you have a salvation mindset? Have you ever had a fantasy of salvation? This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11, because you got some Jake, I'm not suffering, I'm good. Y'all want this kingdom to be, Jake, oh man, this is Romans 13, 11. It says, in that knowing the time that now it is high time to wake up out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe, right? This is the time to wake up. This is not the time to sleep. This is the time to be invested, in your spiritual riches. Matthew the 6th chapter. All right. Have you been laying up riches in heaven? Have you? You got to be honest with yourself. And if you was, daily is going to reflect on your movement. Okay? So stay vigilant, stay separated, stay faithful, committed to Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, because the final countdown has begun. It began. Soon as they made the space station, soon as they brought the Southern Kingdom over here, soon as they established that damn Illuminati mindset in 1776, it already been in, because guess what? Prophecy showed out. Then the breath of life came unto us in 1969, even before. That was already a sign the Lord is he's about to make that move. He's allowing the elect to be sealed by the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, and under the doctrine. Because in order for us to know that Yahweh Shai coming, the Lord gave us that gift back, where the prophets is going to come out and teach us his word. Call Allah Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, so you can't say you haven't been warned. So I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, B'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect scattered four corners of the earth, teaching his word and believing in his word. Lord willing, that you continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Aquaf, the sister of his faith and his truth. Lord willing, that you continue to pursue your lot. And Lord willing, this edifying lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. The title is The Final Countdown. The Fall of Babylon is at hand. So with that, shalom, shalom, abad, babal.